Godzilla 962 here, and Mothra is a well-known kaiju. She has her own films and has fought many kaiju over the years and faced off against the king of the monsters. So let's look into one of her most famous incarnations, Mothra 1964. Toho made various films in the 1950s, but the two most well-known are their Godzilla films. And after the release of the second Godzilla film, Godzilla Rage Again, Toho had to start making films not focused on Godzilla. This is because in Godzilla Rage Again, the film ended with Godzilla being put away in an icy tomb, so they made various films like Rodan, The H-Man, Throne of Blood. This proved Toho could be a success without Godzilla, especially because at the time Godzilla wasn't as big as he is today. Was he successful? Yes, but he was a two-film monster, and although popular, he wasn't necessary. So going into the 1960s, Toho was in a good spot, so they released a new kaiju film, Mothra, in 1961. The film was a massive success, and just like Godzilla before it, it had people talking. Toho hit gold again, but unlike Godzilla, they didn't rush a sequel into development. Instead, the next year, Toho released King Kong vs. Godzilla. This film blew up and was a massive success for Toho when it was released. Toho would try to make a sequel titled Continuation King Kong vs. Godzilla. The film would have been a direct follow-up to King Kong vs. Godzilla, but it went unmade and would end up becoming two films, Mothra vs. Godzilla and Frankenstein vs. Baragon. Mothra was brought to life by the Yagi brothers, Teizo Tsushimizu, and Keizo Murase, the same people who brought the Grizzle Mothra to life. Teizo Tsushimizu modeled the head, while the Yagi brothers and Keizo Murase handled the body. Mothra's eyes had lights put into them, her body used Indian fabric over a frame, and she had an electric motor being remotely controlled to make the legs move. Meanwhile, the Mothra larvae were all made by the same people. Teizo Tsushimizu handled the head, while the Yagi brothers and Keizo Murase made the body. The larvae had wheels put into them so they could move, but this can actually be seen in the film by accident. The larvae would spit out silk at Godzilla in the final battle, and this silk was made using liquefied expanded polystyrene. The larvae also had puppets made of them for when they hatch out of the egg, and the puppets both have different eye colors, but the props in the final battle wouldn't. Mothra 1964 for the longest time was seen as the best looking Mothra on screen. The way the crew was able to bring her to life is incredible and honestly a work of art. The prop doesn't look like a puppet on strings, it looks like a kaiju trying its best to defend its young. I'd say that the only Mothra that came close to the lifelike movement of this version was the 2003 Godzilla Tokyo SOS version, and of course the Monsterverse. Mothra 1964 would come back in some more films, these being Ghidorah the Three-Eyed Monster, Emperor Horror of the Deep, Godzilla vs. Gigan, and Bye Bye Jupiter. In Ghidorah the Three-Eyed Monster, the larvae prop is reused. Meanwhile in Emperor Horror of the Deep, the large imago prop was reused. For Godzilla vs. Gigan and Bye Bye Jupiter, only stock footage was used. Mothra 1964 would be seen in Godzilla PS4 in the Kaiju Guide. Now, although the show Mothra has appeared in a few games, I can't confirm if this Mothra is the 1964 version, but I'll bring them up just in case. These games are Monsters Fair, Godzilla Monster of Monsters, and Battle Baseball. Despite being the first Mothra to fight Godzilla, she wasn't used in much media outside the film, unfortunately. Usually when companies want to make media using the show Mothra, or even Toho at times, they tend to use the original, which is fine, but it's a shame that her 1964 version doesn't get that much love. Now for the most part, if Mothra was going to get mushed, it's going to be the Heisei version most of the time. Mothra 1964 is still around, but in an interesting way. In a magazine released in 1993, there were photos of a rubber suit graveyard. The photos featured many suits that don't exist anymore, and Mothra was included. We can see the Mothra amigo and larvae. Now, I can't confirm if these are from Mothra vs. Godzilla, but still worth bringing up if it is. Now, when it comes to the Mothra amigo, there's basically no info on her, but I found a Reddit comment talking about how in the 1984 Godzilla completion book, Toho kept the prop up until 1984, and ended up throwing it away during Godzilla 1984's production, with apparently a photo being taken of this moment as well. But considering how I don't own the MOOC as of this video's release, and I'm going off a random Reddit comment, take this all with a grain of salt. But knowing how these suits are made and what they are made of, I see this being possible. Especially because if you keep refurbishing these suits and props year after year, they will still rot away no matter what. Now something that we do have undeniable proof of, is that the larvae from Mothra 1964 may still be around. In a CHO Japan video looking at Haruo Nakajima's time as Godzilla, in the beginning of the video, we see the larvae prop. Seeing as this video was released in 2012, I think the prop may have been thrown out, and if not, then maybe the head still exists. Because this video is pretty old, and I can't find any updates on the prop after this video's release. Mothra 1964 is iconic, and I had the pleasure of seeing Mothra vs. Godzilla on the big screen. Seeing this version of Mothra like that was a pleasure and really showed me the brilliance of the special effects in a new light. I hope she is able to get more recognition in the future. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I apologize if I mispronounced any Japanese names. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Godzilla 962, signing off.